How do we handle property damages? Thankfully, we don't have a whole lot of damages. In the 5,000 stays that we've had very few issues. Typically, people might be a little messy, but they're not usually malicious, creating any damage at your property. But there are accidents that do happen. So I want to talk through where we came from and where we are now. So several years ago, we used to do a security deposit, and maybe we would take $500. And we found that our guests, first of all, didn't like to tie up $500. But on top of that, it was very difficult to identify who created an issue if there was any kind of damage. So maybe someone had broken a lamp and then they put it up really nicely on the table, and we didn't discover it for another 1 to 2 guests after. And then all of a sudden there's a broken lamp and no one that we can pin it on. So that became an issue where we couldn't track down guests or they would deny it. So we did away with the security deposit several years ago. And what we moved to instead is a non-refundable damage waiver. And what that does is it's usually between $50 to $150, depending on the size of the property. But it's a non-refundable amount that we will charge each guest, and then use that as an insurance pool so that if there is any kind of damages, if the lamp is broken, if a table gets broken, a chair, those kinds of things, then we will just reimburse it instead of trying to chase down the guest, making a whole bunch of issues with Airbnb and VRBO. With sometimes the Airbnb, we couldn't even get the money from it. It was difficult to chase it down. So this has been really well received. We don't have problems with people wanting or paying that. They're actually happy to pay $50 to $100 versus having to tie up $500 to $1,000, depending on the size of the property. So it's been really good for us, and we've not had to pay out a whole lot of damages. So that's been really good also. So we also, this is intended for up to $1,000 in damages. There's also, you're going to need to have your own policy, and there is policies through Airbnb and VRBO, but really you should have your own policy to protect yourself. But we do have this damage waiver to be able to manage those small damages that we don't want to have come out of your pocket or our pocket. And so we do have that from the guests, and it's been working great. So hope that helps. And if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to us, and we look forward to talking to you. Thank you.